And welcome to Vigas Mudra channel. I am Hari Kumar with Insights. The protest against SilverLIne semi-high-speed rail corridor extending from Kasaragod to Thiruvananthapuram, which is one of the prestigious projects of the left Democratic Front government in Kerala, has taken a violent turn in many places of the state when officials of the Care Rail Corporation, which implements the SilverLIne project, try to conduct survey of the project. While the government says the survey is part of a social impact study, the public are not willing to buy the argument of the government. They fear that the survey and the stones being laid as part of it is part of the project itself, and they are going to be evicted on the basis of the survey. This is the reason for the massive protest. Let us analyze about the current protests. Let us divide the analysis into four parts. One is what is the reason for this massive protest. Second is what is the state of affairs or how Kerala stands in transport sector compared to other states in India, including the neighboring states of Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. And the third part of my analysis is a project like SilverLIne is really essential for the state. And the fourth part is there a way out of the current intense protest? So let us start by analyzing the reasons of the present massive protest that has erupted across the state wherever government officials are carrying out survey. The main reason for the present protest, which I feel, is the failure of government to be transparent. So people are not willing to buy the promises or accept the promises of government. Why is this happening? This is not just a problem of the present government. In Kerala, there have been previous examples of government acquiring land and failing to deliver promises. For example, in Ernakulam district, there is a place known as Moolampally, from where people have been evicted for constructing a railway line to the international container terminal. The grievances of the public, they have gone to the High Court also, is that the government has not failed to give them the compensation which they have promised. That package has not been implemented in its true sense. That is what the public complain. They point out that the land given to them is a marshy place and not really habitable. So such examples are here. So people are not easily accepting the argument of the state government about the compensation. And there is another aspect. I will say the whole protest we are witnessing at present against the SilverLIne semi-high-speed rail line, it reflects the development crisis in Kerala. If you look at the land prices in Kerala, they are abnormally high in many places in Kerala, including villages. So this is what makes it difficult, the land acquisition for the government. What is the reason for this? Because in Kerala, land is not just a place to live or do business. Land is an investment instrument. This has not been like that before. This has happened only, say, 2 decades ago. See, till 1990s, the land value across the state was very reasonable. But after 2000, land values skyrocketed. Land became an investment instrument. This is the place which allegedly people with black money goes and invest because the returns are assured and your investment is safe. So land is an instrument of investment in Kerala, and people build homes investing a lifetime saving. Keralites go to different parts of the country and foreign countries and they toil for a lifetime, and when they come back, they invest a huge part of their earnings in a home. So it is very tough for them if the government takes away their hard earned wealth, which is the savings of a lifetime. So people are naturally apprehensive. This is one of the major reasons for the intensity of the protests which we are witnessing across the state. So here the problem is, as I said, one is transparency, one is the way the state is developed. For example, there is another aspect. If you look at national highways, both sides of national highway, you find an unending number of shops. You may not witness such a scenario in other states. The problem is, again, the development crisis of the state, where you don't have industries. The state has only got shops, and people think that if you build a shop by the side of road, at least you will get something to survive. So there is huge unemployment. There is lack of industries. Only thing that is happening in Kerala is trade, and people think that the best place to trade is by the side of roads. So they, unlike in other parts of the world where it is said that in United States, for example, land value by the side of many roads will be very less, because people are not willing to build homes near homes where there is noise pollution, where there is air pollution. So naturally land values are less there. So this is not the case in Kerala. People want to build shops by the sides of roads. So this peculiar situation in the state is making acquisition of land very difficult. You consider all these things. Now you realize why the protests. Now the government is saying that terrorist organization or people with vested interests are behind the present agitations or protests. May not be correct, I think, because maybe they may be getting the help of some organizations which want to incite the public. But that happens everywhere in India. Even in farmers' strike, now it is reported by many national dailies that people like Yogendra Yadav, etc., were trying to incite people so that they get some political gain out of it. In India, you cannot prevent such happenings because this is a democratic country, and some organizations may be behind the protests. This is one part. So that is the reason, but is very simple. People have invested their lifetime savings there, so then they will naturally come out. They will go to any extent. Now, second part is what is the state of affairs of the transport sector, or whether it be roads or railway lines. I will say the situation is pathetic in Kerala compared to other states. Though Kerala is ahead of many states in human development index, like say gender equality, or providing the literacy rates, or child health, maternity health, or child death rates of children. So in these all areas, Kerala is well developed, ahead of other Indian states till recently. But in the transport sector, the state is a laggard. The state is actually on the outliers. A recent study by a reputed forum of in a forum named Team BHP has revealed that the average speed a vehicle could attain on Kerala roads, including national highways, is 35 to 40 kilometers, and at many places it is less than 35 kilometers also. So the situation of roads in Kerala is evident. The state has got some of the narrowest roads in the country. Even the situations in neighboring Tamil Nadu or Karnataka is far different. Those who go to Bangalore, they know very well that once they cross the Kerala border at Walayar and enter Coimbatore, the roads have become much different, and there is a pleasure in driving also, which is not available in Kerala. At any place, it is going to create tension. That is evident in the very high rate of accidents in Kerala, and Kerala contributes to around 10% of the accidents that happens in India. So you know the situation. People who say Kerala doesn't want broader or wider roads, they don't realize that accidents means actually loss of breadwinners for many families. So every year around 3,500 people got killed in the accidents, and a very large number of people gets injured, and some of them are permanently disabled. So the situation is very tough, and the state suffers economically also out of this. So the situation in Kerala is pathetic. And regarding construction of roads, I don't know whether people outside the state will believe this or not. It takes sometimes 1 year to construct 1 kilometer of highway in Kerala. I'm not exaggerating. There are examples like construction of Kollam bypass, construction of Alappuzha bypass, construction of the four-lane highway from Thiruvananthapuram, the state capital, to Kanyakumari. In stretches, sometimes even it takes more than 1 year to complete the construction. So the situation is really pathetic, and something needs to be done urgently. So Kerala's transport sector and roads as well as railways are in pathetic conditions. Now, my third point is the silver line silver line really necessary? So if you look into the development of railways in India, in many places the Indian Railways has achieved a speed of more than 100 kilometers, while in Kerala it is less than 50 kilometers. Average speed, I am saying about that. There may be stretches where trains travel at 100 kilometers per hour, but on an average across the state it is pathetic. So it takes a lot of time to cover distances from Ernakulam, the financial capital of the state, to Thiruvananthapuram, the capital of state of the Kerala. Sometimes in many trains take around 6 hours. The doubling has not been completed earlier. Now it has picked up, it's true. Again, the fact is that it took so much time to complete doubling of the many stretches in the state. So if you consider all these things, this is the situation in Kerala. Look at the other states. Now the construction of a bullet train corridor between Ahmedabad and Mumbai is fast progressing. If you look at in Uttar Pradesh, between Varanasi and Delhi, you have got the Vande Bharat Express. Vande Bharat Express has been introduced in many places, and the government is planning to introduce say 300 or 400 Vande Bharat Expresses in the coming year. So the situation is fast changing, and Kerala really needs rapid transport systems and rail lines. Now there may be a question: is the proposed silver line really up to date or contemporary or state of the art? Is the technology the right one for Kerala? Can it be replaced by Vande Bharat Express? That is, the government needs to seriously think about it. But some kind of rapid transport system needs to be introduced in Kerala. And considering the present rail lines and the land available with the Indian Railways, the state government needs to initiate talks so that the acquisition of land could be minimized. But if an expert opinion says new railway tracks needs to be built and new trains needs, or rapid or high speed trains needs to be run across the state, then we need to go for it, despite the pain which will be caused by the public, cost to the public. But the government needs to be transparent about it and needs to be able to convince the public that this is really necessary, and we will walk the talk. We will really implement what we promise. This the government has to ensure that.